Support for this podcast comes from the St. Alphonsus Neuroscience Institute, offering technology to provide treatment for neurological, neurosurgical, and neurointerventional conditions. This includes a dedicated neurotrauma ICU for critical care of the brain or spine and a 24/7 stroke team. More at stalphonsus.org.
How's everybody doing? You guys all right?
Boise State Public Radio and Duck Club Entertainment present the Charlie Hunter Trio.
Charlie Hunter, ladies and gentlemen.
Wednesday, March 18th at the Shrine Social Club in Boise. Blending jazz, funk, blues, and rock. Hunter is a guitarist, producer, and bandleader who will present his unique finger-picking technique on custom hybrid guitars. Tickets are available now at theduckclub.com.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. In the state budget, what has the governor cut this time? We've got the latest. Plus, we'll tell you about an effort to pull the plug on the U.S. Department of Education. It is Wednesday, the 18th of March. Here we go with today's stories. The Idaho House of Representatives will consider making its own investigations into ethics violations secret. James Dawson reports.
The proposal from Republican Representative Vito Barbieri would no longer require the House Ethics Committee to hold a public hearing if they find merit to a complaint. It would also no longer allow documents and evidence to be released to the public if a complaint is substantiated. Barbieri says these proceedings should be worked out behind closed doors.
These things can be resolved simply by putting the parties together, fixing the misunderstanding, and then allowing one or the other to apologize and say, yeah, it's okay, everything's okay, my mistake, no foul.
Republican Representative Dan Garner opposed the rule change, saying elected officials take the job knowing their lives will be subject to public scrutiny.
What we do when we're here at the Capitol deserves to be in the light, where people can see how we conduct ourselves and what we do.
The proposal cleared a committee hearing by one vote and now heads to the House floor. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Since the day that President Trump was sworn into office, he has wanted to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. Yesterday, at the Idaho State House, standing before the House State Affairs Committee, Superintendent of Public Instruction Debbie Critchfield, who is in favor of getting rid of the Federal Department of Education, walked lawmakers through some of their concerns. Number one, securing the pathway of federal funds.
I do not expect, nor do I believe, that we will have any disruptions in the timelines for how those dollars are delivered.
Number two, staffing.
I don't know this, but I would expect that as more responsibilities come from the federal government, that it would look like less people in Washington, D.C., and more federal funding for employees at our State Department to be able to oversee that.
And while Democratic Representative Monica Church of Boise did make a motion to send the memorial to the full House, she was quick to add her concerns.
I think we're getting a little in the weeds here. The problem is not about whether or not the state can do it better. The problem is the funding. The Department of Education was not set up to create better outcomes. It was literally created as an enforcement mechanism, like the EPA to enforce the Clean Air or Clean Water Act. Laws were passed by Congress that said you can't discriminate against children with exceptional needs. You can't discriminate against children on the basis of their, first language. You can't discriminate against women in sports, right? They passed all these laws, and then states did not follow the laws. Local education agencies did not follow the laws. And so the department was created to enforce laws.
So the question remains, what will it cost the state of Idaho to take on the burden of the federal bureaucracy that is the Department of Education? Meanwhile, the memorial now heads to the full House. Governor Brad Little has signed a package of further budget cuts to state agencies. As James Dawson reports, the Governor signed the package after his administration had actually opposed them over the past several weeks.
The bill includes Little's 3% holdbacks implemented last summer, plus a further 1% cut to most state agencies. That totals about $130 million. In a statement, the governor said the cuts deliver an efficient and effective budget for taxpayers. Little's staff sent a list to the Joint Finance and Appropriations Committee early this session, urging them to exclude several agencies from further cuts. JFAC eventually exempted more spending reductions to Medicaid, K-12 education, and state police, among others. Legislators are still working through next year's spending plans, though momentum has stalled after the Senate rejected the health and welfare budget last week. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Yesterday, Idaho House lawmakers killed a bill to monitor the growing population of rats in the Treasure Valley. The measure would have had the State Department of Agriculture partner with local governments to figure out the scope of the problem and develop an abatement plan if necessary. GOP Representative David Levitt voted against the bill. He said it would grow government to solve a private sector problem.
It becomes a private issue where you can go and hire somebody to come and take care of your property. They can rat-proof your property.
But Democratic Representative Steve Birch said it's a public health issue, as rats can carry disease that can infect humans and livestock.
If one county takes action or one city takes action, but the other city doesn't, then that other city becomes a sanctuary city for those rats.
And again, the measure died. Barring any last-minute bills, Idaho's rat problem will be left to individuals. We're checking the travel scene every day this week as it is spring break. We have heard of reports at the Boise airport of long lines at the TSA checkpoint and gas prices. The average price for a gallon of unleaded in Idaho this morning is $3.80. That's 40 cents higher than a week ago, 84 cents higher than a month ago. And that is the Connector for a Wednesday. I'm George Prentice. Say, do you have a question or a story idea? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. We love story ideas. Email us at podcasts@boisestate.edu. Podcasts@boisestate.edu. I'll be back here Thursday. I hope you will too. Thanks for listening.